I'm Pastor Hawkins of the Village Church, and today's message is entitled, The Wild Ride. Matthew 16:18, Jesus says, "The gates of hell shall not prevail against it." Sometimes missions seems like a real-life version of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Perhaps you've experienced Mr. Toad's Odyssey. It opened as a ride at the original Disneyland in 1955. The ride, loosely based on Kenneth Grahame's classic children's tale, The Wind in the Willows, has Mr. Toad, who refused to stay in his toad-like lane, take his anthropomorphized critter friends through all kinds of dangerous escapades through the English countryside, including a stint in prison and a terrorizing taste of hell. Fortunately, the Disney riders who have assumed the role of Mr. Toad do emerge from the ride unscathed at least. In The Wind in the Willows, the ending is more satisfying, with a banquet and a redemption story in which Mr. Toad and his friends live happily ever after. The Christian and Missionary Alliance was the first denomination to bring the gospel to Cambodia. The year was 1923. They just celebrated their 100-year anniversary just a few years ago. But what a wild ride it was. It started slow. It took nearly 50 years to get to 1,000 believers. But then the church exploded. In 5 years, it went from 1,000 to 10,000. But you know enough history. You can do the math. 50 years puts us into the 1970s. And Cambodia and the 1970s equals Khmer Rouge and Pol Pot. Between 1975 and 1979, as many as 30% of the Cambodian population was murdered. Some estimate as high as 2 million people died. By the end of these killing fields, 80% of the church had been martyred, and most of the believers who remained were exiled in refugee camps in Thailand. How could the church even survive? But the gospel continued to be preached, even in the Thai refugee camps. By 1995, the church had grown tenfold, and today there are now around 300,000 believers, nearly as many as are worshiping in C&MA churches in the United States. This is a better story than Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and it's better because it's true. David and Chris Manfred have been latter-day witnesses in Cambodia to the truth of Jesus' prophecy when he said, "I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." Matthew 16:18. This weekend, Global Impact Week will feature the details of this extraordinary adventure in Alliance missions. Thanks for listening. I'm Pastor Andy.